Hello, this is LTD for Task Force Orange, and I'd like to just play through quickly the battle for the new AI system I'm working on. This is the first battle that I've organized in my campaign system, the defenders of the Gelron Sector. So the idea is the Imperials are bombarding a planet which has declared independence from the Empire, and a small task force of rebel forces have been dispatched to interrupt them. So the goal isn't necessarily to destroy the Imperials, but simply to disrupt their bombardment of the planet. Now this is working with a new AI system that I'm working on, the idea being that the Imperials are run on a spreadsheet. So each turn you roll some dice, you consult different tables to see what happens. So for instance, that Gazanti just activated there and handed a token to the flagship, and I'm playing the rebel force here, and the spreadsheet is determining what the Imperial force is going to do. It's pretty simple. It's obviously not complete, and there's a lot of problems with it. Just things that I forget happen, and I'm a bit of an external processor, so when I'm playing this game by myself, I forget to do things. So sometimes as we go through, you'll see that I go back and fix some things and do different things. Fighters is probably the most complicated part of it. The best way I've come up with so far of how to do the fighters is just have the Imperials try and fly in formation as best they can. So when they in the squadron phase, the fighters just try to move to escorting the ships. So you just see that the squadrons more or less move to the position they were in at the beginning, with the idea being that once they get involved in combat, then they get involved in combat. So that was the first turn. The Imperials are trying to bombard this token here on the planet, and every time they bombard that with a crit, roll a crit on it, they get a victory token, which adds an extra incentive to the rebels to try and interrupt them. If they have a valid ship target, they'll fire at the ship rather than at the planet. So the new turn starts. I roll dice to determine which of the Imperial ships goes first and what its order is going to be, and it came up with a squadron order. So the squadrons come forward. The basic I've got for the squadrons is they just move to the closest enemy and engage, which probably isn't ideal squadron play, but would be far too complicated to say, oh, and they try to engage 17 different things and all the rest of it. Perhaps one day I'll get to that point, but I'm not there yet. I should work out how to turn off the blast dice. So just hang on a second. Alright. The ships generally shoot at the enemy that's closest. So that's what they're trying to do. Let's turn those dice down. They're a bit loud, aren't they? So they just try to engage whoever they can shoot the most dice at. Basically is what they're trying to do. And for this opening campaign, the idea that this is a small backwoods sort of sector. The locals don't have the big ships yet. They don't have the advanced fighters. They're just playing with the basic stuff. In this situation, the victory didn't have a valid ship target, so fired on the marker and scored a victory token. So the Imperials are winning from that guy. They've also knocked out an X-Wing. I mean, it's sometimes predictable what the AI will do, and so it's can be easy to move around them. But at other times they also do things unexpectedly, and of course there's always the fickle dice that do very well here and not there, and the other thing. So, yeah, I think it's going well. I really would like some other people to have a go at it and to give me some feedback. See what happens. So for instance, in this situation, the Victory Star Destroyer here had the choice of who to fire at. There's going to be 3 red dice at the Nebulon, 3 red dice at the corvette or 4 dice at the fighters. And because the way I've geared it up, they like to shoot at they like to roll the most number of dice, so they shot at the fighters. It's 3 red dice because they've got extended armaments on the victories. And the other shot went into the corvette, so I must have... No, because if the fighters were in the front arc, so that was the valid target. We're also playing opening salvo, which is always a fun sort of mission to play. So that's why the corvettes are rolling black dice at long range. And the rebel admiral that I've given to them is called Captain Doya. She allows the rebel player to re-roll 2 dice once per turn, which I think is fair enough ability. The Imperial Admiral in this case. So, for instance, there's the opening salvo for that victory, putting 5 red dice into that nebula. The Imperial Admiral here is just got an ability to add an extra engineering point. And I made a mistake here because I said before, like, I'm externally processing. So he should have used that squadron order before he moved, before he shot even. So that's just why I undid that and put that back. The Imperials also like to try to move to get double arcs, so when they move, if they can arrange a double arc, they will speed up to do that. Otherwise they'll hold in formation. And the thing for this Imperial fleet is that they will try to stay within black range of that dot on the planet for as long as possible. That Nebulon's being a bit cheeky there, leaping between the two of them. But I think Nebulons are pretty tough against, well, basic Imperial ships. Of course, that whatever that thing is called, Byzanti, also has opening salvo, so that's a little bit of dice there. So the Nebulon survived all that. I think he's on 1 hull at the end of all of that. Oh no, he's basically unscratched. Resisted the front attack, braced and all the rest of it, and managed to keep it up. I'm pushing the wrong button. I also have built in a basic thing where ships that survive on the rebel side will get a free veteran captain for the next mission, and 1 X-Wing will get an extra brace token, and 1 VCX Z95 will get a scatter token. So to do that in Vassal, I just load up Big Starklighter as the X-Wing and Lieutenant Blount as the Z, and then just delete the non-required tokens. So it's quite a... I should have zoomed in at this point. What a waste that we've been so far away. I haven't been able to see these beautiful ships. So yes, the squadron fight is going alright, I guess. Oh, they've just lost an X-Wing. It's down to Z snipe left for now. Of course, the advantage of playing opening salvo is that to get some points on these victories, you just have to ram them at the last moment. So that's sort of my goal here. One of the victories will blow up in a moment, because I should get enough guns on it to destroy it. And then to win the battle, the other one just takes a ram from my corvette. Make sure you wait till after it's activated to ram it so it doesn't repair. Opening salvo is quite a risky sort of mission, because there's always the possibility of getting one-shotted by ISDs at long range. And of course MC-80s. So there goes one of the victories. Lost down to the Nebulon after a fair bit of blasting away. And I think I determined that he missed that rock, so that's good. Yes, the Imperial's moving off the screen, so we'll just catch up with him. And the Imperial ships are also trying to keep the token in the range. Well, obviously he's out of that now. They also try to keep this Imperial marker in their front. That's what's called the focal point. So in a standard sort of game, that focal point would move around based on where the rebel ships are. But in this game, this scenario, it's fixed as being at the front. On this occasion, my attempt to ram and score the extra points comes to naught, and the Imperials escape. And that's pretty much the end of the game. They try and take out they killed that last corvette with their fighters. So even that was unexpected. Just rolling the dice, and he came up with a squadron command, and that was the end of that. So it was technically a rebel victory. 124 points scored for the Imperials, 119 for the rebels. So the rebels did win that battle. It's a work in progress, obviously, the AI system, but I think it has a lot of promise, and I would really encourage people, if they'd like to help me out, they'd like to have a test of it, and let me know what happened. That'd be great.